Can Israel survive a prolonged missile war? This question is now being asked in Washington and Tel Aviv. Over the past week, Iran has launched hundreds of missiles at Israel, and while Israel's defenses have intercepted many, the strain is becoming dangerously real. Meanwhile, Israel is responding with airstrikes and seeking support from the United States. But the question looming over this conflict is, how long can Israel sustain its defense? And what are the possible outcomes? Will Israel stop the attacks, or will it escalate and strike Iran's nuclear facilities? Let's explore. According to reports coming from U.S. agencies and media networks, Israel is running low on defensive interceptors. Now, estimates suggest that Israel can continue defending itself for only 10 to 12 more days unless these missile interceptors are resupplied by the United States. Israel has used over 400 Arrow interceptors. This is a very serious development because the Arrow missile is Israel's primary defense against long-range ballistic missiles, including hypersonic ones launched by Iran. And here's the catch. Each Arrow missile costs approximately $3 million. This means that Israel is spending close to $285 million per day just on missile defense. As of now, Iran has launched hundreds of ballistic missiles at Israel in a series of coordinated barges. Some missiles have managed to hit key Israeli targets, including an oil refinery near Haifa, military intelligence bases near Tel Aviv, and strategic infrastructure in central Israel. And the problem is that Iran is not launching 1 or 2 missiles per hour. Iran is using a missile saturation strategy, launching 100 to 150 missiles in a short time window. Even if Israel intercepts 70 to 80% of them, 20 to 50 missiles get through. This is how Iran recently managed to hit a major oil refinery near Haifa and came close to striking the headquarters of Israel's military intelligence, Unit 8200. Adding to the threat, Iran is also deploying newer hypersonic missiles like Fateh-1, which fly at speeds up to Mach 13 to 15 and can change direction mid-air. These missiles are very difficult for Israel's traditional defense systems to intercept. Their aim is clear: exhaust Israel's air defense, create psychological pressure, and expose vulnerabilities. This is a reversal of tactics. Earlier, Israel used similar strategies to weaken Iranian defenses before airstrikes. Now Iran is playing that same game. And this is where Israel's defense begins to get overwhelmed. U.S. and Israeli intelligence assessments say that if this pace of attacks continues, Israel can sustain its air defense for only 10 to 12 more days. After that, interceptors will have to be rationed. Meaning what? Israel will have to choose what to defend, whether it's a military base, a power grid, or a civilian neighborhood. This is a major vulnerability. Now, to understand this, we need to understand Israel's missile defense network, which uses a layered approach. First is Iron Dome, which handles short-range rockets and mortar shells, mostly the kind fired by groups like Hamas. Second is David's Sling, which is used for medium-range missiles. And finally, the Arrow systems, Arrow 2 and Arrow 3, are designed to intercept long-range ballistic missiles in the upper atmosphere. While the Iron Dome has been very effective against rudimentary rockets, it is almost useless against hypersonic missiles, which require the far more expensive Arrow interceptors. The Arrow missile system is Israel's main defense against high-speed ballistic missiles coming from Iran, which can travel faster than the speed of sound, sometimes through the upper atmosphere, and each Arrow missile alone costs about $3 million. Now Iran is believed to have around 2,000 ballistic missiles, many stored in underground depots, making it difficult for Israel to destroy the entire arsenal quickly. Therefore, reports from Israeli financial media also indicate that Israel is currently spending nearly $285 million every single day just to keep its missile defense up. Now, Israel has already used over 400 Arrow interceptors in a week. This simply means Israel is rapidly depleting a strategic stockpile that is not easy to replenish, especially at such an intense rate. The United States is providing indirect support, including deploying THAAD missile defense batteries and naval destroyers in the Mediterranean. But even American stocks of interceptors are being stretched thin, and delivery could take 2 to 3 weeks. This cost is unsustainable over the long term. Israel's defense budget is under serious pressure, and the operational tempo is exhausting both personnel and equipment. Public panic and fatigue are rising in Israel due to the constant sirens and attacks. Experts warn that if this conflict continues at the current intensity without a ceasefire or significant U.S. military support, Israel's missile defenses may be overwhelmed soon. U.S. defense experts like Tom Caraco have recently stated that neither the U.S. nor the Israelis can continue to sit and intercept missiles all day. So the cost of this war is going up day by day, and finances matter in a war. Without it, you need to beg in front of another world to provide money, just like Ukraine is doing. Now, Israel Aerospace Industries, the company that makes aero interceptors, didn't respond to requests for comment. The Israel Defense Forces said in a statement, "The IDF is prepared and ready to handle any scenario, but we cannot comment on matters related to munitions." Now let's talk about strategic vulnerabilities. Israel's interceptors are low. Soon, they may have to choose which missiles to intercept and which to allow. Civilian areas could become vulnerable. Iran still has around 2,000 missiles, many in underground depots. So clearly this is not just a one-sided conflict. So what might happen next? Well, Israel may push for a ceasefire, similar to what happened in 2014 when it nearly ran out of interceptors during fighting with Hamas. Alternatively, Israel could increase offensive operations against Iran's missile stockpiles and nuclear facilities, but that carries its own risks. The U.S. may continue providing indirect support, like giving bunker-busting bombs, refueling aircraft, or even B-2 stealth bombers. It's possible if Israel chooses to attack Iran's nuclear infrastructure. But America's direct military intervention still looks unlikely due to domestic political pressures and the risk of regional escalation. And what if this escalates? If the U.S. joins militarily, Iran might respond by attacking U.S. bases in the Gulf. There's also a low but serious risk that Russia or China could intervene on Iran's behalf, which would dramatically escalate the conflict beyond the Middle East. For now, the situation remains tense but contained, with major powers carefully weighing their moves. So what do you think about this situation? Do you think Israel can sustain its defense? Or will Iran's missile campaign force a major shift in the region? I'd love to hear your thoughts. Thanks for watching. I hope you all have a wonderful day.